Chris, good morning. How are you?
Not good, man. Not good. Watching this market, just all this red. I mean, I have cash on the side, but dude, it's investing with investing with Trump every day coming out and just basically saying tariff and then not tariff. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wish Biden was back. Sleepy Joe, at least Sleepy Joe just slept.
Hey,
I
Chris,
miss the day.
hold on, Chris. I'm going to say what all the comments are about to say, but you voted for this.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
voted for this.
yeah.
So,
No, I did, man. It's just when it comes to the market, I I don't know what to say to this guy. Um, I understand that what he's
okay,
doing.
let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's say for one day, you are Trump's political consultant about the economy at the intersection of politics. How would you respectfully tell our president how to navigate this current economic climate?
Pick your battles, man. Don't fight everyone all at one time. Like what you're going to do is get the Republicans slaughtered in the midterms if you keep up with this, and then whatever benefit that you thought you were going to have is going to end up crumbling. And then what's going to end up happening is now the Democrats are going to dominate the Senate and the House, and then you're basically going to be sitting there a lame duck, you know. So if you want these policies to work out, you got to pick and choose. Like, this thing with Mexico, I understand Mexico and Canada, you're going to tariff them, and then you're like, oh no, they're gonna work with me, and then it's like within less than like 2 weeks, it's like, oh, you know what, we're gonna put these back on again because you didn't do enough, and it's like you can't get countries to move like in such a short time frame. The other thing is you're publicly calling out our allies, or even if you think that they're unfair, you do it behind closed doors through Marco Rubio. I mean, you want to know something? I think the administration is going to destroy itself because there's going to be a point where the cabinet people are going to say, look, I can't deal with this bullshit either. You know, like imagine right now you're saying one thing and then you're being undermined within like 24 hours by a tweet. You're not even being consulted. And then you got to cover for this guy, you know? That's not healthy. Like I know that right now Rubio is doing his best to kind of, like, oh no, I like this is what Trump wants, and this is what blah blah blah. But Rubio's out there basically putting out fires, and I don't know how eventually he's gonna get frustrated by putting on fires, and he's just gonna say, you know what, I don't want to deal with this shit.
What do you think about these tariffs, bro? This EU stuff, Canada stuff. Like, do you think the market believes it or not?
See, that's the problem. You don't know because he rolls them back 2 days later, you know? So
Yeah.
you can't even tell. You can't even tell. The problem is all these businesses that do like like have business presences outside the country, they don't know what to do. Cuz right now, imagine right now you're about to, you make widgets and you need your widgets and you sell them at a certain price in the market, right? So you have to basically figure out what your costs are going to be ahead of time. So you put an order in for your widgets. The minute that widget is done, completed in China and is about to be shipped out, Trump's like, I'm going to put a 25% tariff. And now you have to kind of like figure out like how you're going to basically, get your buyer to buy at a higher price, right? For a widget that's going to cost you higher, but you already have a fixed contract with that guy. So it's like, it's causing all sorts of like downstream chain effects. I think the best quote that I got from somebody said, look, Trump is trying to intentionally crash the economy so that this way inflation goes down faster. And this way the national debt gets balanced quicker, right? And the analogy that I got was really funny. It's good. It's like Trump is trying to control inflation the same way it's like cooking a steak. You don't cook a steak by burning down your house. Even if it works, it's not a fucking right way to do it. So, I mean, the damage that's being done is being it hopefully it's something that we can figure out, but this literally you're playing into the hands of the Chinese right now, because the Chinese, every time you step away from things, the Chinese come in and say, look, at least we're not the Americans. The Americans, you can't trust them. Every time a political shift happens, they become dicks, you know. Like if you think so, now everyone's like, oh, maybe China's right. Maybe we don't want to deal with the US. There's no stability there. They're fighting each other all the time. They're investigating each other all the time. They don't even believe each other's votes anymore. They're saying that their own people are corrupt. I mean, bro, this is like Banana Republic territory.
Well, do you think so? So obviously, there's the Trump angle to why the market's tanking, but do you think what is the macro reason besides Trump? Because I think this is a market sentiment thing. I shared this in the morning, and you can see it right now. But these forward estimates for the Max 7 are insanity. Why do you think the Max 7 are being discounted like this?
It's instability, man. Like right now, did you see this morning? I think there's two main headlines that just came out that probably is screwing over big tech. One is Benioff came out and basically said that the big cloud providers, they're just spending money like endlessly, and there's not going to be any real value.
Wait, hold on. Benioff said that?
Yeah, you didn't see it? Look it up. It said Benioff, look it up, and said that they're spending money that basically is not generating any value.
Huh.
Look it up. Type it in. I'll put it on the screen. Let people see it. So when you have a big tech CEO, especially after he missed his numbers, comes out and says something like that, it's like, oh my God, like, what the hell? So that's one thing that's probably causing it. Nadella said the same thing not too long ago, so that's another problem, right? And so people are just dealing with it.
What do you think is going on with Google? What's happening here?
Google is dealing with that too, because they're spending like 75 billion on AI, and right now people are questioning, like, wait a second, is there going to be tangible value that's going to be generated in the future? And I mean, they're saying yes, but we don't know. So it brings a lot of uncertainty into the markets, and that uncertainty is not something that people want to deal with. The other thing is they're being invested. Did you hear about this thing in the morning? That now they're all the big tech, all their guys are being called in by the U.S. Some kind of investigative committee on like free speech violations, like working with other countries to censor people.
I mean, they're all going to be sitting, and they're going to have to take questions from Elizabeth Warren and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Elizabeth Warren because that's the Senate, but the House, I think Jim Jordan was leading the one. So let me see, Jim Jordan, big tech. I just saw it this morning. Yeah, U.S. demands EU antitrust chief clarify rules. And then there was another one that literally, it's like basically the freaking news cycle is running the market right now. You see crazy shit come around, and it's like, and you're dealing with it. It's pretty.
Right, so how are you positioning? Are you buying the dip? Are you hedging? Like, what do you?
I already bought the dip too many times, man. So at this point, I'm just letting my things. I'm not selling anything. I did clear out all my SMCI like short-term stuff because I don't know how the market's gonna be in the next few weeks. So I just cleared those out. I didn't want to deal with that. So I took a little bit of pain on it, and I just called it a day. But the long stuff I'm leaving, and I have a pretty good hedged position, so it's not like something that I'm overly concerned about.
Are you buying the Palantir dip?
Stop, man! You're not gonna.
I'm just asking. I haven't asked you in a while. I don't know if your thoughts have changed in a little bit.
No. It's just, I don't know, man. This market is just rough right now. I'm telling you, it's someone needs to take away Trump's phone. Someone in the administration needs to just take it away for like a week or two. Like, no, Donnie, no more tweeting for a week. Let people actually do some negotiating. Like, you can't be like, okay, you're gonna do this, and before they get a chance to do it, you're like, no, you didn't do what you were supposed to. I'm cutting you off. Like, I get it that you. And what's funny is people keep saying that he's like the master negotiator in chief, and I'm like, bro, if this is how you negotiate, people are.
Well, maybe, to be fair, it's been 2 months, right? I mean, I know all of us are annoyed because our net worths are down in 2 months, but like, we do got to give the guy time. Do you think there's any hope of like giving it a few months, or do you think this is just going down the wrong path completely?
Bro, I'd be surprised right now if there weren't some people in his cabinet being like, look, Donnie, you need to make this market crash so we can buy in. So I'm going to be looking out for them billionaires, be like, all right, when they start buying, be like, bro, I need to join because they know something we don't. But then again, I don't know, man. I'm getting to the point, Amit, where I hate waking up in the morning. Okay. And the reason why I say that is not because like I have anything fundamentally wrong. It's just I'm scared of a tweet, and I shouldn't be fucking scared of a tweet. You
Yeah.
know,
Dude, you know,
'cause
my
you
mom said the
don't
same thing
know how the
yesterday.
huh?
My mom said the same thing. She's like, "Yeah, I don't want to look at the portfolio anymore." She's getting to that point as
No,
being
I
an
don't care
investor.
about the portfolio moving up and down like the market's supposed to do its thing. Like I could deal with that. That's not a hard thing. The problem is me as being somewhat of an analyst trying to figure out like, okay, what is the world going to look like a year, 2 years from now so I can invest. I I can't because anytime I think about it, I'm like, oh, okay, look, this guy's gonna come out and say some shit. And so now it makes you not want to put money into the market, you know?
Yeah.
Because now there's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, do you feel comfortable waking up in the morning and looking at your screen and being like just dreading that there's going to be a fucking tweet out there that fucks over your portfolio?
Yeah, and it's also I'm not trusting any of the pre-market green because all of it by 9:50 goes away, and the reason it goes away is because something like this, which I'm showing on the screen, Trump tweets at 8:45,
Yeah.
and then boom, you got March 4th tariffs, and all that pre-market green goes to shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, this is not the way that you I mean, I don't know the logic behind it. I really don't. I'm trying to figure out maybe this is some kind of like 4D strategy that we're all like we don't know about. But I mean, it's bro,
Granted,
it's
Chris,
possible.
you knew who Trump was. I mean, you lived through 2017. You knew that this guy would send out a tweet every day. So it's not like you didn't know this would happen, right?
I thought that he would at least moderate somewhat, try to control this economy, you know? Like, I mean, dude, if this is America's golden age, I ain't seeing it, you know?
Yeah, well, at least not 2 months in. I think we got to be a
Yeah.
bit more patient, but I agree. First 2 months have been
Yeah.
well,
So, I mean, at this point, all I can say is people are probably going to rotate to like defensive stuff because they don't like if you want to make money in the market and you don't want to deal with this tweet stuff, you got to just be in companies that don't necessarily are or not impacted by this barrage of up and down, especially when it comes to like foreign trade. You
They
know,
took Google below 170, Chris.
I know,
They
I
took
know.
it
What is
below
that?
170. Oh
See,
my.
the funny thing is, I have cash ready to buy the dip, but I don't want to because I'm like, this fucking guy might tweet tomorrow, like, hey, you know, we're gonna do X and we're gonna do Y, and then the companies on the countries on the other side might retaliate, saying, look, you know what? The easiest way we're gonna fuck with Trump is by fucking with their companies and now making America look weak.
Do you
You
think
know,
he's actually going to put tariffs on EU 25%? Do you think that actually goes through?
I don't know. No one knows, dude. No one knows. You can't trust this dude. I think, you know, it's funny. Dan Niles, he said, look, I'm going in cash. I don't know where to put my money. I was like, all right. So, did you see that?
Yeah, he
Like,
said, screw
it's
this.
crazy. Buffett's doing the same thing. Buffett's like, I don't know, bro. I'm just gonna raise cash. I don't like. Oh God.
That is kind of.
I'm,
I mean,
I'm
part of
honestly
the reason that you and I like New and Grab Bank, New and Grab Bank, New Bank and Grab is because they kind of don't have to deal with Trump's tweets, right?
Yeah, they're outside of the, but even they have issues because they report in dollars,
Yeah.
you know, so the foreign exchanges are up and down all the time too. So I'm telling you, this is the time where number one, the valuations of the markets are somewhat frothy, right? So that's one major red flag. So when you're investing, you got to be very specific on who you're investing in. I do think that this is creating a ton of opportunities. Do me a favor. Can you look up Take Two Entertainment?
Yeah. TTWO, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they're steady. All right. I'm hoping that this one crashes. I don't know why, but I hope this crashes
With
because
the Grand Theft Auto, right?
yeah, because they have Grand Theft Auto coming out, and I'm like, bro, I know at least with Grand Theft Auto, tariffs, no tariffs, they're gonna do well. You know?
Oh my gosh. All right, so let's do let's we'll get Chris out of here in like 5 minutes, but everyone put some tickers in the chat. I'm going to just give you a random ticker, Chris, and give me your 30-second opinion on the ticker. So I'll start off with Nvidia. What do you think?
Nvidia is a great company. They're doing crazy things. The only problem is the sentiment on AI spend is starting to sour a little bit because a lot of high profile people are coming out and saying, look, AI is great, but it's not gonna do as big of a thing as we're thinking. So I think a lot of people are wondering, is Nvidia the next Cisco? You know, and so they're taking that into consideration. Even though demand is really, really strong going into 2025 and 26, people are asking themselves, well, what about after that? What's going to happen? You know, should we be giving it a high multiple based on that? So just because your numbers look good today doesn't mean they're going to look good tomorrow. So I think a lot of people are just asking themselves like, hey, this is a cyclical business, and what is Nvidia doing outside of their core products right now to keep value this high? You know, so if the cycle ends in AI spend, or if AI spend goes down, the one that's most impacted is going to be Nvidia, who's been the biggest beneficiary. So people are basically saying, you know what, I'm going to be risk off a little bit and not have as much of exposure to Nvidia. You know, so right
Okay.
now things might be good, but you don't know if it's going to be good next year. And especially if hyperscalers are, start talking about scaling back spend, Nvidia could retrace down much, much lower.
Okay. Rocket Lab.
I think Rocket Lab's a good company. I just, I don't really, I don't have an opinion on it. I haven't done enough research on it to give a good basis on it. So I think it's a good company, great CEO, very inspiring CEO. So people who are in Rocket Lab, congratulations. You've got a good company. I just don't know much about it though.
Meta.
Bro, you don't ever bet against Zuck. Zuck will figure things out. So the dip on Meta, I don't see anyone replacing Meta anytime soon. And they actually have real AI use cases that they're utilizing to generate them even bigger and bigger returns. So,
I imagine the same thing you feel about Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon's the same thing. Now, what's funny is we're hearing completely opposite stuff from what Benioff is saying, which is Andy Jassy is saying the only thing that is basically like slowing us down is we don't have enough compute because new companies are doing a ton of work. They're doing a ton of things, and we are inundated with demand, which is the same thing that Google said on their call. So now it's like, who do you believe? Do you believe Benioff? Do you believe Nadella? Do you believe Pichai? Do you believe Jassy?
Yeah, I mean, when he said that yesterday, that they are a supply constraint, not demand constraint, to me, that just means cha-ching for NVIDIA. But again, it seems like it'll take time. All right, last one for you, and then we'll get you out of here. Tesla, current thoughts at 280. When do you get excited to buy this dip?
When Elon resigns from Doge.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, here's a question to you. Do you think that Tesla demand is going to be Jesus, woman, stop calling me. Do you think Tesla demand is going to shrink because of Elon's participation in Doge?
I think the story is about FSD and robotics, but sure, it could. Damn, dude, she really wants to get your attention, bro.
My biggest fear here is that all these people vandalizing Teslas and doing all this stuff, it's going to make consumers second guess buying a Tesla. Because even if you like Elon and the company, if you can't park your car because motherfuckers are like throwing paint on it and like hitting your windshield and calling you a Nazi and all this other stuff, bro, not a lot of people, as at least the ones I know, want to deal with that. Even if you like the car, bro, the fact that you can't park it safely because someone will take a hammer to it, it does like ring in the back of your head like, hey, I don't want to deal with this. So the brand value is definitely taking a huge hit, and I think eventually the sales numbers are going to reflect that. So the other thing is, if you look at Europe sales are down significantly. US sales are down. Well, I don't know if US sales are down, but US is having these issues right now. So I think a lot of that might end up playing into future earnings. So we'll see what happens.
All right, there we go.
And not to mention, demand for EVs is actually cratering also. So that's like, even outside of this whole political thing with Elon, demand for EVs is slowing down significantly. So, like naturally you're going to see that come down. Now, some people will say, well, what about the robot? What about all these other businesses? And I'm asking myself, I'm like, yeah, but like how far away is that, before it actually generates some real tangible value? So, I mean, I will say this. For people who have some cash on the side, this is probably a good time to start dollar cost averaging into your favorite names that are undervalued. So for me right now, that would be Google, right? Now, my every part of my soul is saying, don't buy it, Chris, because it's just going to keep dipping. It's going to keep dipping. And you have to fight that urge because
Yeah.
like, holy shit, look, the RSI is basically crashed. We're in total fear mode on the fear and greed index, right? You're seeing this is a great company fundamentally. All it is, it's technically sold off. So you have to fight that fear and you have to fight that urge to basically like not buy and buy anyway, you know?
Yeah. Extreme fear at 20, dude. I mean, I feel like we're not going to be here at the end of February, but then or the end of March, but who knows, right? It comes down
Yeah,
to
exactly. This is where you really have to just dig down and deep and ask yourself, is there anything fundamentally that's changed with the company itself that I'm investing in? And if that's not the case, and this is just the market being irrational, bro, that's the best time to buy because the market is giving you a heavy discount, you know?
yeah.
So if there's a reason why the company is going down, you should definitely not buy it. But if it's the entire market that's going down, that means that people are throwing out the baby with the bathwater, in which case there's a higher probability that you're going to get a recovery.
Yeah. And look, that's what I'm thinking on Tesla as well. I do agree there's some political narrative shifts that are hurting Teslas, and you got some people putting logos of horrible things on the cars. But in general, if you think robotics and FSD is coming sooner than later, that's a personal decision. Do you think it's coming or not? Then Tesla's at a way better price than it was at 487.
Yeah.
Even
No,
if
no,
it is still extended, right?
no, of course, 100%. And I think what's the guy from Dumb Money? I forgot his name.
Chris Camillo. Yeah.
I think he's loaded to the hilt with Tesla,
Yeah.
right? Because he believes the robots thing as being a like a fourth wave of like innovation that's just gonna knock it out of the park. And he's go. I think he went pretty heavy on this thing. So
Yeah.
so yeah, like I said, if you believe in the company that you have some cash on the side, just swallow, close your nose, swallow your pride, and buy a little bit.
All right, Chris. Thank you. We will talk to you later, Chris.
Screw it, I'm gonna go buy some Google Leaps. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.